So if you're asked to translate these words into math language, this is going to be an equation, because if you read the last part of the sentence, the result is 10. That means everything is going to equal 10 here at the end. Whatever we do, whatever in all this mumbo-jumbo up here, it's all going to equal 10. We're supposed to take 2/3 of a number. We don't know what number they're talking about, so we're going to use x. To take 2/3, to take 1/2, to take 1/4 of anything, you multiply that fraction by that something you want to take 2/3 of. Like if you have 4 pounds of some sort of ingredient, I don't know what you're going to use 4 pounds for when you're cooking, but you got 4 pounds of an ingredient, 2/3 of it's supposed to go in one pot. You multiply 4 by 2/3, and that's how many pounds you're supposed to have. When 2/3 of a number is subtracted from 14, so we're supposed to use this 2/3 of a number, and we're supposed to take it away from 14. So it should look like this. Again, it looks like this because the expression says 2/3 of a number is subtracted from 14. So we're supposed to take that 2/3 and take it away from 14. And that equals 10. So if you're asked to solve this guy, the first thing I'd do is get x by itself, get the x term by itself. If you subtract both sides by 14, we'll have one less term because 14 minus 14 is 0. And can't drop this negative sign, don't forget this. That's negative 2/3 x. And then on the right side we have 10 minus 14 to make negative 4. If you're still trying to solve, we're trying to get x by itself, so we have to make that negative 2/3 disappear. Well, what if you multiply that by negative 3/2? If you remember cross-canceling, those cross-cancel, and the negative sign, negative times a negative makes a positive, that's all gone. But again, to keep it balanced, everything in our equation has to be scaled by multiplying by negative 3/2. So we're left with just x here, and that equals negative 4 times negative 3/2. If you're having trouble with that, when you multiply an integer by a fraction, sometimes it's easiest if you change the integer to a fraction. That's supposed to be a 1. Okay, so I put a little 1 underneath the 4, and now when you multiply fractions, you just multiply straight across the top. That makes, that's a positive 12, because a negative times a negative is a positive. And the bottom is 1 times a 2. That makes 2. Okay? And so on the left side of the equation, we canceled everything out. We were left with x, and 12/2. That simplifies to be just 6, right?